This is Enfosi, a Roblox game made by the same creator of the battle bricks, and it's a skinwalker game. Ah, that's a mistake. So throughout this video, I call Enfosians skinwalkers. I use them interchangeably, even though they're two completely different things. When I was writing the script, they just gave me the vibe of a skinwalker, even though they're not, like lore-wise. So bear that in mind when you're watching this video. In here, you're known as a Glaggle, this fun-loving creature, and you have to protect your statue from those Enfosians, these evil monsters that disguise themselves as Glaggles. Simple, right? Yeah, but things are a bit more tough than that. As a beginner, you need to know that this isn't your typical Roblox game. I mean, just look at it. There has been other skinwalker-like games around, but the graphics actually make it a bit more difficult to spot the Enfosians. Enfosians generally look like Glaggers, but there's always something that you can tell is off about them. Glaggers have identical faces to their stomach and head, and generally are of the same skin color in every species. Enfosians usually get one detail wrong, usually either the faces, the look of the face, or the skin color of their disguise. If you hit them, their disguise breaks and you have to battle them. From my understanding, this is like a game where I need to go detect people and stuff like that. Okay, that face looks wrong. Oh my god, bro. Wait, is that how they look like? Oh my god, it's so dark. So from that guide, you can like tell based on... Wait, okay, that face looks weird. I think it's like... Yeah, that face looks weird. I think I can just compare it with like my own body because I think I'm the same build as them. How do you even have that, bro? That bat looks crazy. That's the premise of this entire game already, but what's intriguing is how Bucket, the developer, mixes all of this up. Firstly, the thing that hits you first is the look of the game, the characters and design. The second thing is how in every wave, things get progressively harder as there are different Glaggles that spawn in. I remember doing my first deep run and I realized that I barely knew how the Glaggles in the back half look like. Thankfully, at the start of each wave, you get pictures to reference. Of course, there's also bosses in between that shake up the gameplay and the core loop, which is honestly pretty dry. The difficulty curve, of course, isn't that hard. The first few matches are definitely intense, but if you get a solid group of players and play more than 3 times, the first few waves are usually pushovers. Okay, chill. Oh my god, he has dynamic moves as well. It's not dumb boss. He has dynamic moves as well. Oh my god. Yo, we're all like the starter characters. We're trash. Oh, he got jumped. Oh my god, bro. My teammate just got cooked. I might get cooked too. Boom. Okay, he does not get knocked back. He does not get hit back. I'm sorry, bro. My aim is low-key trash right now. I swear. And I just got cooked. The challenge starts ramping up by the second half. There's also a couple classes as well that all come in different colors. That's the Giggler, which is what you spawn with. It's the default all-rounder class. The Gazo, more so for long-range fighting. The Gloober, which is a healer or support class. The Gembo? I don't know. It's more of an explosive or AoE class. The Cheerer, which usually spawns with the traps that help detect all of the Enfosians. The Gleeber, which is sort of the recon or fast class. And then the Glaaber, which is the tank class. Depending on your class, you start with different loadouts that align with your class and their archetype. But you get coins every round that allows you to purchase stuff outside of your class, which is pretty neat. I've been holding the hammer from Gembo, I'm not pronouncing that right at all, and the healing sign, as well as the cube traps. It feels like the most balanced set of tools, especially for late game. Not gonna lie though, this is so hard to read. Yeah, and all these are kind of I'm not gonna lie. I might just skip on this. There's also the strike mechanic. Basically, if you do dumb shit like kill regular Glaggles, you get a penalty. If you do more than 3 in a round, you get swallowed and die. Someone fill me in on the lore, please. I'm confused why this happens. Like, that's not an understatement. When this first happened to me, I was so utterly confused until you put 2 and 2 together. Oh my god, what is that? Yo, I gotta walk away from that. Yo, oh my god, what is that? But most of the time in late game, the only reason why you still get penalties is because some weapons do splash damage that hurts the other Glaggles. It's so stupid why they spawn so close to each other. You get a scorecard every time a wave ends. It's based on the points you score, the health of your own tower, and the number of strikes that your team got. Your average grade you get in each wave determines what ending dialogue you get. Obviously, the better the grade, the more approving the text. Yo, how do we have a D grade? Are we getting cooked? Oh my god, we just got a report card. Okay, C, G, and E. That comes out to a C. Okay, still passing grade, but like, yeah, that's kind of bad. And yeah, that's about it. It's a simple game still, considering it's still in testing. There's also other stuff like mods and difficulty, but you get the basics. One thing that I didn't know about this game is that it's based on the Glaggle trend. A long time ago, there was this trend called Glaggleland, a creepypasta amusement park type thing that leaked a couple of years ago. There's a lot of hidden lore to this that I don't know about. I'm just scratching the surface. But Bucket, the developer, decided to take the aesthetic and turn it into a legit Roblox game. By the time Enfosi is released, the whole trend was already niche for years at that point, so I don't think most players even recognized it when they started playing. Most of the game was coded within the last few months. If you know, Bucket is also the creator of the battle bricks, and I think this is what he was mostly working on after he finished Across Heaven, which is the last huge battle bricks update back in March. For its short life, Enfosi has mostly gotten test upgrades or simple upgrades, just base stuff like how the classes look and feel and balancing stuff. I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of plans to expand this in the future, especially with with that ominous creature that we talk to when we beat the game. For me personally, I'm really intrigued at seeing where this goes. I played a few of those Protect X from Skinwalkers things on Roblox, and most of them are kinda trash. Like the combat wasn't satisfying enough, or there just wasn't any meat to the game. Enfosi might solve that problem actually thinking about it. Of course, one of the things that I really like about is the amount of classes that they have. It follows the TF2 playbook. Basically, it covers all of the bases or what classes that you need, and I really like the mechanic that everybody can cross-contaminate classes with each other. You're able to get weapons from different classes and mix them around and create your very own play style. It only really helps in the first leg of the game when you still don't have the coins, but as you get to the late game and especially by the final round, you pretty much can get your own setup and whatever you want, which in my opinion is great. The base game itself of course contains a lot of promising features, and the enemies that you get and the Enfosians that you have to deal with depend on what Gleeber they're trying to impersonate in the first place, which I thought was really genius. It's sort of like fighting you versus you in a way, because for example, if you're trying to beat up the tank class, which is what you get at like the final round, that thing hurts, man. It smashes into the ground, it kills runs for me. The bosses as well, I liked all three of the bosses actually. I'm not gonna spoil the mechanics in this video, of course, you can take a look at it right now, but I really like how it counteracts, I guess, the monotony that you get from this kind of game. The core loop by itself, the concept, isn't really that great, so having bosses in between that sweeten things up in the combat and stuff, and having your teams fight, I think I really love that. There's definitely needs to be more PvE games on Roblox. PvP games usually are saturated by a lot of toxicity, and Enfosi is sort of like a very chill game in that sense. It's probably because the community is still very tight-knit and it's a niche game with only a couple hundred players that know about it. But generally speaking, when I was playing in this game, I had a lot of fun with a lot of the people there. So in terms of long-term appeal, that completely depends on how the game develops. Like if the game just stopped getting updates tomorrow, I think it would die a slow death, of course. But the concept itself definitely has potential, and I'm technically reviewing a game that's only maybe 5% or 10% to the end of a final product. We don't even need more classes, we just need different maps, different stages of course for better progression, more weapons I think, and possibly a rotating level of bosses with different difficulties. You could get a very meaty game out of that already actually, but it doesn't really strike me as a game that would see a lot of mainstream attention, and I know that's kind of hypocritical because the Battle Bricks recently had about 10 to 25,000 players, but it might come down to the visual design. Most Roblox games technically lean simple, and I don't think that most of like the mainstream, like normal newbies who don't know about this style, Enfosi or the Enfosians at all, I don't think they will really latch onto the style. But critically, as a game that's actually fun, I'm definitely going to see some potential in that. So overall, how do I feel about this game right now in its early stage? I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Of course, this will be 100% revised. I'll probably think about a different score later as the game progresses, and assuming that it goes further next year into its own complete product. What we have here is essentially a tech demo, a very punchy tech demo. It's good, and I do think that the whole core loop definitely could be expanded upon, but still, it's a game that I would recommend everyone to beat at least once. There's definitely a lot of the lore parts and inner knowledge that's still being planned for this game, and people might know where this game will go in the future. So if you have any confirmation, any theories to fill in, drop your thoughts below. But yeah, that's all I have to say on it. It's my previous video which goes over the Battle Bricks, a game by the very same developer that blew up recently. Check it out and I'll see you there.